Hey everybody, Keisha here, and today I am here with my friend
Jennifer Guskin,
and we need your help. We are right now working on advocacy for combating human trafficking, and here's why. So we'll give you a little bit of background of our story and why we're doing what we're doing.
I was adopted as an infant by a couple who sold me throughout my childhood. I have been to Epstein Island and on multiple Lolita Express types of flights as a child. After I went public, Child Protective Services opened a substance-exposed newborn case, even though all tests came back negative, and they told me that if I wouldn't stop posting on social media, I would never see my daughter again. I started to connect how I was adopted as an infant and then sold throughout my childhood, how many other children who have been through the adoption, foster, and CPS pipelines have also been trafficked to Epstein's Elk.
And as many of you guys know already, based on the work that we do at the CARES Project, I'm an American Indian born in Canada under the Jay Treaty. My father and I were exposed in the improper contagion mitigation for the COVID pandemic in early 2020. As a result of this, I lost everything: a house, cars, corporate assets, jobs. Bank accounts were shut down in Canada, and I fled to the US as an American Indian, fully documented, and was trafficked by rogue agents in ICE and other agents in the government, and forced to live with single American men. I was even imprisoned for 7 months initially, and then trafficked throughout the states. Put on full surveillance tracking and wasn't allowed to leave the city house or state without permission or work without permission. And that happened for many years, and I was on and off the streets because of that, and in and out of shelters. And that is just a small example of what many go through in this trafficking system, be it the family courts or otherwise. So that's why the CARES Project will be going to DC to speak with representatives and do live reporting. We're also going to be in contact with other families who are dealing with human trafficking, and through the CPS courts or through any other means, lesser versions of trafficking, and doing reporting on them live and otherwise. We will also be working on, we ultimately want to shine light on what's going on with the trafficking here in the US. And we also want to meet with various agencies in DC, and we'll be going back and forth for training sessions and other things so that we can be better equipped to help people deal with resolving some of the issues that we're seeing. We will also be putting forth petitions in government to help people get justice, and that's something that we have been working on already so far. We have some petitions that have recently been filed in the state of Colorado, Michigan, Texas, and Arizona, and we will be continuing.
But we can't do this on our own. We will be traveling to events and training courses, as well as DC on a consistent basis. We also have to get acceptable equipment, such as computers, cameras, interview gear, etc. There will be other miscellaneous costs that would also be like gas, food, and rooms if necessary.
So that is why we are working towards combating human trafficking, and that is exactly why we need your help. We cannot do this alone, and most what the CARES Project does is on its own dime. And so we do love and appreciate each and every one of you that support us and all the work that we do. As many of you know, we also live stream on Lindell TV every day. And everything we do, like I said, is on our own dime. So we appreciate all the love and support and all the people who do donate. And we would very much love and appreciate that still. Thank you everybody for your time and considerations. And thank you for all the support. And we will catch you guys in the next one, and hopefully we might see you guys in the future and come across you and maybe be able to do some great things together.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the CARES Project podcast. And today, again, we are coming back to the red pill dichotomy with the feminism and all of this stuff that's going on. So, Keisha, you want to kind of ease us into the topic?
Hello everybody, hello friends, what's good in the proverbial hood. It's late right now, so I think we're both proper PO'd to be sitting here, but you know what? It makes you lot, the bad ones, even more PO'd. So I'm sitting here peacefully with a smile.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to be discussing this red pill nonsense, continuation of it, because as we've been gone on and said, a lot of it is fueling the problem. It is causing the problem. It's a lack of accountability. At this point, the red pill is equal opposites to feminism. Two sides of the same coin, fueling the same nonsense. Same-ish, different pile. That is what we're dealing with. So we're going to look at some clips. We're going to go about it. We're going to look at some clips and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Run the tape.
Yeah, so we're going to go in here and maybe we're going to be, I guess, we're going to start off with Myron Gaines again.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I mean,
You know,
just,
it's just funny, yeah.
yeah, I have nothing against the guy, but I mean, just what he's saying is whatever.
What would you say the problem is with modern dating?
Couple of things. From which end? Do you want me to explain from the male perspective or the female perspective?
The long and the short of both.
Okay. From the male perspective, it's not adhering to your masculine duties, right? Like guys think that men and women are equal. That's a big mistake. We are not equal. You are superior to her in every single way, and you need to remind her that all the time, right? Like guys need to understand that men and women are not equal, and as a guy, it's your job to be superior to her in every way. Now, I know some feminists might be watching this saying, that's fucked up. But then ask yourself, you stupid bimbo, do you want a guy that's taller than you? You want a guy that makes more money than you? Want a guy that's more successful than you? Want a guy that's smarter than you? Oh, if the answer is yes to any of that, guess what? You don't want an equal, you want a superior. Now, that's what women want, right? So guys need to understand that's your job. You're not there to be an equal to her. You're there to be superior to her, to be her leader.
But
now, the
why?
side, well, Frank, sit, stay.
But why is it that women preach equality even though that may not be the reality to you?
Because they're stupid. And this is what I mean when I say that, you know, women will say one thing, right, that they want one thing, but they'll actually be attracted and aroused by something else. They don't really know or understand how to properly, how do I say this? Yeah. Sorry. I can
Yeah, that's all good, bro.
Totally
Yeah, we can run again. We can run again.
Do it again.
All right. That was funny as though.
See, bro, like, excuse me, we're filming here. Huh? We're filming here. See what I mean? Like, just completely rude.
I mean, like, how am I supposed to know?
There's literally a light right there in the camera.
Sorry, why are you filming? What's happening?
That doesn't matter. Just please get out the shot. Frank, come here. Frank, come here. Sit. You're being rude by walking in the shot.
I'm not being rude. I have
Yes, you are. You literally, you see it right here, and you're being rude.
Ask me to leave.
Leave. Like, it should be implied. Get out of the way. Incredible.
What the fuck? Like, learn some manners.
You learn some manners.
You learn some manners.
Incredible.
Public area.
Well, you walked in the way. See, you know what? That perfectly explains what I mean, right? So, was the camera rolling the whole time? Dude, see, that's what I'm trying to say. See, a man wouldn't do that. Only a woman would do something stupid like that. Why? Because she thinks that we're going to sit there and be like, ha, 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 it's okay. She thinks it's okay. It's not okay. But this is what I mean when I say, like, women just don't have a general respect for men, for other people. They just think, I'm here in a red dress, I'm hot, I can do whatever I want. That entitlement is ridiculous, right? Versus, like, other people, they don't have that same level. We've seen a bunch of guys walk by and nobody's doing that dumb shit. Only her walks in, clearly sees that we're filming, but, you know, acts like a for no reason, right? And I'm like, dude, like, we're implied. And then we said, hey, we're filming. And what does she do? Instead of saying, I'm sorry, she goes, ha, like, to be funny. It's not funny. It's not cool. It's up. But that is the entitlement that modern day women have. So on the female side, why dating sucks for them is their expectations are too high. Every woman thinks that she deserves a guy that's like 6 foot, 100K plus per year, good looking, charming, you know, funny. And the reality is, like, most women, number one, there's not enough of these guys to go around. They're like 1% of the population. And then number two, you don't qualify for them. Like, let's just be honest, like, most of you women don't even qualify for an average guy, right? The issue is that Average women don't want average men, and average women think they deserve men that are well above average, and it's just not going to work. Most of you ladies don't qualify for the man that you think you qualify for. Sorry.
Yeah, first of all, I'm sorry, but also I think is muted, I think.
Yeah.
First of all, Myron, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, sir. It's giving autism. It's giving Asperger's. I'm sorry. I don't know. He has the mannerisms of someone with Asperger's, and I don't know, like, it might not be the case, but he just makes me think he's got autism or something. But the way that he behaves and the way that his mannerisms and he speaks, but because I worked with a lot of autistic children in as a substitute teacher, and I also have a lot of family who is autistic. So, it's just interesting to me, some of his behavior. But that's a side note. I also worked in a psych ward. But anyway, the thing is, what he's saying, telling a woman that you're better than her, a man, I mean, growing up, my dad never once told me I'm better than you. He just showed me he was better than me. And every time I was like, oh, shoot, just kidding. I guess I'm just kidding. Like, if I thought that I was going to go and try and do something and be wrong and strong or be better than my dad, he was like, okay, well, this is what we're going to do then. And then I'd be like, oh, just kidding. Oh, well, I guess I can't do that. Not really. Oh, well, never mind. You can do that. No problem. And I realized actually in life, the reason why I get so irritated and frustrated with things is because my dad growing up constantly showed me in his actions that he was actually the masculine authority, and he was the head of the home and the superior, if you will. And at some point, I just had no desire to fight back or do nothing. So I was like, well, it is what it is. Just might as well accept it. Like my dad said, when I was, toddler, I decided I was going to throw myself down on the floor and have a tantrum in the store. And he was like, oh, really? Got up and walked away. We didn't even buy my stuff at the store. He went back later and got stuff by himself. And I was just like, started chasing after him. And I was like, wait a second. He left. That's the thing. And I talk to men. I talk to a man that actually, he never tells me. I told this guy, I was like, you're smarter than me. He's like, no, I wouldn't say that I'm smarter than you. I think that we just have different types of smart. But I'm noticing, like, in my mind, when I see him say things and do things, I'm just like, no, 100%. You show me consistently, time and time again, without even actually having to verbally say it or make me feel bad, that you are superior to me in almost every fashion. And then I respect you because I can trust that whatever comes out of your mouth is going to be in my best interest, or I'm going to learn something from it, or I can benefit from it. You don't have to say that to women.
But it's in the areas that men are designed to excel at.
That's what I'm talking about, in areas where men are designed to do things.
Because this is what they try to make as the standard and obscure what women are doing. Okay, we got a few clips to go through, so you want to roll through this. So now we're going to go back to Lily Phillips and going to ask, a question's being put to her. So we're going to let that one play.
You feel an element of responsibility for glamorizing that life.
I do. And I really, really try to be honest and open about the realities of this industry.
And what are the realities of the industry that you think people then probably don't know?
That everyone you know who knows you or even knows of you will think about you so much differently once you start doing OnlyFans, even though you were probably doing this behind closed doors, without cameras, without putting it on the internet. People now just have this like
perception,
of you that they didn't have before.
With that, does there come shame?
I've never felt like shameful about what I do, but I'm sure like maybe family members or friends probably feel shameful that they're friends with me.
Yeah, because once it's on the internet, there's no going back. You know, when I was brought up, my dad, honestly, he was so strict on us. I used to be 17 years of age, guys. This is no joke. And he used to buy those, you know, like the breathalyzers that the police have.
No.
And he would, swear to God, he would breathalyze me when I came home. I wasn't allowed to drink at 17. He was like, I think he was a womanizer back in his day. So he was so anti us, like having multiple partners. Like, I promise you, I'd probably be in the bottom of a forest somewhere if this had happened to me. And he used to always say to me, the only thing you have in this world is your reputation, and you come in with the world with it and you leave it, and you essentially create it while you're here. But it's the one thing no one can ever take away from you.
Yeah.
And you seem to have built this reputation that you might not want to have later down the line. Does that worry you?
No, because I really don't see sex as shameful. Everything I've done, I've never regretted. Yeah, I have a lot of sex. I fuck a lot of people, but I don't think that's something to feel bad about.
Okay, so this is where I think that the thought process would be coming in. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the men seem like they're treating you like an object and quite disrespectful, like in terms of like some of the sexual acts. Like when we saw you running around London with the semen on your face, that to me was really disrespectful for someone to do that for you. So it feels like they're being disrespectful for you and not treating you with the same respect that you're enjoying whilst having sex. Does that make sense?
To me, not quite, just because I enjoy having semen on my face. I am always I love holding these big gangbangs. I love doing these sexual acts. So I don't think it's disrespectful for me to want these guys to do these things for me. And I believe that a lot of other girls have the exact same fantasy. They just don't necessarily fulfill it.
But
This is where sometimes you have to understand, just because you want to do something doesn't mean that you should.
First of all, she's lying. The girls don't have the fantasy for men to disrespect them like that and run down the street with semen on their face. Secondly, if a man ran down the street with semen on his face, he would be in jail. Why is a woman not in prison for running down the street with semen on her face? If a man done it, he would be in jail. It would be all over the news. Predator runs down the street with like biological weapon. What is it? Because you know, actually, if you spit on somebody, it like I saw in the store, they actually charge you with serious crime. Lol. They charge you with like serious crime when you run down Oh wow. Anyways, they charge you with like serious crime when you use bodily fluids in relation to other people, because it's literally, you could have a disease and you could transfer that to somebody, and that's biological weapons. So it's like you're running around with you don't know if you're running around with loads of AIDS on your face and you're just running down the streets of London, and you're saying that most women want to do that? No, I'm sorry. No. And the other lady sorry, well, you can go ahead and I'll finish.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, and the other lady talking about, oh, well, the reputation, you're taking it from the complete wrong standpoint. Because like she said, she feels no two ways about it. She doesn't care. And the way when the girl was saying, oh, well, my dad was a womanizer, and she's like, I was like, wait, whoa, relax. The thing is, the reputation, I don't even agree with that, because you come into this world with your reputation is not the truth. Because you know what? If your mama did something wrong, by the time you're born, there's slants against you. You have 50 strikes against you, and you didn't even do nothing but just breathe your first breath of life. Jesus had one of the worst reputation on the planet, to the point they killed him. That's not going to be the reason to sway somebody.
It's not reputation; it's character.
Yeah, she's asking the wrong questions entirely.
Yes, but let's pull up another clip and hear from someone about the way the industry was before, Lily Phillips, and you're just going to see the difference.
My question is, how much has the adult entertainment business changed since you first got involved into it? It changed a lot. I mean, if you just look at the fact that we were shooting on film and how many more people were needed for a production, as opposed to once we went to handheld cameras and natural light, the budgets were a lot greater because the content cost a lot more to shoot. There wasn't a need for as much because there wasn't an internet, which is like a 24/7 global spinning wheel that needs to be fed more content. So companies put out a very thoughtful one movie a month or one, so the grandness of it has been brought down to this where we are now at the speed. Everything just has to be churned out and churned out. So that's made it change. And when you're rushing things and when you have less budget, you also lose quality. You also lose communication. You don't get to pair up talent as precisely. You don't get to do the things that were thought then, like craft services would call you the day before the shoot. What do you want to eat? Now it's like, bring your own lunch or you're eating chips and that's it. Okay. A lot of those things changed. And another thing that changed is before the internet, which is a free for all, there were a lot more limitations. So a lot of states didn't allow certain things. So instead of making it complicated for distributors and for producers, we shot a softer style content because nobody wanted to say, I can't ship this to Pennsylvania. I can't ship this to the Bible Belt. So there were a lot of things that weren't happening. The internet brings in the free for all, and then it becomes violent. It becomes aggressive towards women. There becomes more, choking, smacking, just there becomes more kind of degrading content that was just not a thing when we were shooting on film and we were distributing VHS. So a lot has been left go, but there are some companies out there making very thoughtful products and you can easily search them. There's a lot of companies that are like, put out there, more of a woman-based content, so a softer style content. So you can look for it, but the internet has opened this wild, wild west of what we see right now.
Yeah. I like Lisa Ann. She's always talking fire.
So you can see the different, like, what Bonnie Blue is doing, or sorry, Lily Phillips talking about there. Regardless of whatever you think about, pornography or anything like that, when you have somebody that was in this industry from like she's my generation, and then seeing what's happening now, like, you know what I'm like, right? Like, people were complaining about it then, like, and the people that were like, say, much older that are dead, if they saw what was happening now, they'd just fall back in their graves, right? Like, I mean, that's humiliating. I'm sorry, walking around in public like that, that's nuts. What Lily Phelps was saying, that's nuts.
That is not. It shouldn't even be allowed. I'm sure it's not. Like I said, if a man done it, he'd be in jail. Like it's really sick. The things that these women are getting away with. It's really sick. It's really sick and it's really dangerous.
What you do in your bedroom, I'm not going to tell you what you should.
Yeah, it's not my business.
It's not my business. But when you're bringing that out onto just the public streets, like that, just no, right? Like, no,
it's unacceptable.
That's exactly the whole point. Like, what happens if their kids going, "Mommy, what's that?"
I'm sorry, but if I seen a woman run down the street with semen on her face and she came up to me, she's getting boxed in the face. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. Without a second thought, it's lights out, my friend. Get away from me. And I'm like balling up my sweater on my like hand first or shirt or something first. And then burning it. What? Oh my gosh. Consequences, man. That's sick. And I'm a female. I wouldn't even want to see that running next to me. What?
And and so now we're gonna go to the other count because they keep calling Lily Phillips Bonnie Blue. But now we're gonna listen to what Bonnie Blue is saying. And this, just listen.
This is what's getting me exciting. Like, I don't need lube, like, forget your spit. This is going to turn me on. And I've got two barely legal girls watching, learning, seeing how to be stretched out. And then next week all together.
I'm down.
I would also like to see
Alice is down.
Use her spit for lube during the...
Okay. Yes.
Wow.
I think your spit would taste sweet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see.
Very sweet.
Matcha. I just chug matcha.
Matcha.
You ever get like infections from these men, like you know, like UTIs and shit?
No, I take cranberry vitamins. Drink a lot of pineapple
So that's a tip.
juice.
I just learned something from mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, I don't even know what to say, man. That I can't believe she said that to these girls, man. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If I was right there, again, someone's getting knocked out, man. I
But
could. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
but this is
Oh
on like
gosh, I would get
that
it.
was on Instagram.
If I seen someone say that to my sister, I'm punching them out.
Yes,
Like
but
if that was my sister's almost like that age, I would knock somebody out. One
but
of my sisters.
this is content. This is what she's putting on Instagram. Instagram. There's people under the age of 18 years under Instagram. And
Wait,
she's
these girls just turned 18 or almost turning
they
18?
they just turned 18.
That's crazy.
But they have that on Instagram. There are girls who are not 18 that are watching this. There are boys who are not 18 that are watching this, and the thing is called schoolies.
That's sick. That's
Yes.
sick.
Who is it appealing to?
Absolutely sick.
Yes. Now let's
Children.
let's bring another little bit here.
Okay, so today I'm doing the biggest live stream has ever seen. But what's me more interested is seeing Julia's face as I'm stretched out. Right, do you think she's going to be shocked?
Yeah, I mean, this girl here is just a pretty girl that she's really like a church nun trapped in a hot girl's body.
Yeah, I feel like I'm rescuing you. Rescuing.
You
I
see,
am
feel like she's
rescuing
gonna
you.
need rescuing.
You know when those people like live in the middle of nowhere, they don't even know the internet exists.
Right,
I feel
Amish.
like
No, that's me.
yeah,
Like, when
Amish.
I
That's
see
it.
this, I'm gonna be
Get
like,
those little bits at the side.
She's only done like boring ass missionary. She doesn't know what an orgasm is.
Deadass, no man's ever made me.
This is on TikTok.
Isn't that chick that we saw on the clip that we talked about on the clip? She from that black-haired girl who's always talking with her brother. She looks like a kid. She's making millions on OF or whatever. Isn't that same one? And why is she just turned 18 saying that no man has ever done this for her? Like, you're 18. Nobody should done that for you. You should be like saving yourself for the man that you're going to marry and love, and you should learn your stuff together. Why it's so weird to me. It's so weird to me, two adults, older adults sitting there talking to a little kid. That's a kid in my mind. Like, I can't, man. Why? And then to playing with the hair at the same time on her face. No, man. That's disgusting.
Yeah. So we're
That's
gonna
disgusting.
we're gonna take a short commercial break, and then we're gonna go and shift gears, and we're gonna go back to Mr. Gaines, go back on the other side.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to announce the next generation of energy drinks, Rev 7. It has no sugar and no caffeine. Instead, Rev 7 uses Go BHB. Go BHB is one of the body's primary ketones, and it provides the most efficient and clean fuel that your body needs. It also helps you stay energized all day with no crashes. Not only that, it produces 3 times more brain energy than sugar, which helps boost your memory, focus, and mental sharpness. It also helps reduce stress and helps balance your mood. Rev 7 does all that while being the best tasting energy drink ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% today. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7. For a limited time, you get our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. I drink Rev 7 every day and I absolutely love it, and so will you.
So if you need any MyPillow products, go to mypillow.com/Karis. Call 1-800-845-2942. Use the promo code Karis. There's other ways to support if you want to fight the human trafficking, all that kind of stuff. You can go to the donor box that you see or the gifts and go We have other links. Go to the All My Links at the Karis Project. If you're watching on Rumble, BitChute, or on Facebook, you'll see the different things that we have in the description. Go ahead, support one if you want to, and help out a good cause, right? And all right.
Shout out to my pillow.
Yes.
Also, you can see that the girls in the previous clip, when she's like, do you ever get infections and stuff like from this? You can see that they're actually worried to catch disease, like in their mind, like, which shows that they have, it's so fresh, they have some form of like worry of regret or fear of consequence still. You see what I'm saying? You don't ask those questions if you're confident in your decision of what you're doing.
Yes. So now let's look at this clip here. And we'll just kind of roll it back here to Mr. Gaines.
How do you feel about this statement? Women are born with value, whereas men have to work for it.
I say it every day on my podcast, man. That's 100% true. Men are born with no value, and they have to level up to gain that value, versus women are born with the value. It's their job to just preserve it and not mess it up. So, you know, this is why I don't feel sorry for women that like end up 30 plus with no man, because I look at women as almost like, so women are trust fund babies, men are self-made millionaires. When a man is born, he has no value. He's got to go and get it out the mud, right? And if he works his ass off, he ends up becoming that self-made millionaire, you know, whether literally or figuratively you want to say it. But with the women, once they turn 18, they have that access to that equity immediately, that $1 million. So if a woman gets to 30 years old plus and she hasn't found a man and cashed out with that $1 million, it's her fault because she's given the value up front. So the problem with a lot of modern day women is they want to play the game. They want to go in a casino, they want to gamble, have fun, wait till the casino is going to close at 6 a.m., it's 5:55 a.m., and they don't have a guy yet, and they haven't cashed out yet, and they're like, oh, what do I do? And then they're going to hit a Hail Mary, and the reality is most of you aren't. So what's up happening is they have to consolidate on the best person in the casino. A lot of times it's not their first choice. So that's why you see a lot of these women walking around here where they're with a guy they don't really like that much, but he fulfills some of their check boxes. Divorce comes, or maybe they're catty to him, or they treat him like shit. And the problem is because women don't consolidate and find their best guy when they have the most value, when they're in their youth. They want to find a guy after they've done their career, after they've run around the cock carousel and been sluts, and then they're not able to find a guy, and they look at it like, oh my God, men are trash. No, you're trash because you didn't find the guy when you're at your highest value.
What's the best way a woman can get a man to commit to her?
By being an asset versus being a liability. Most women are liabilities, if we're going to be honest here. They come in, they take, don't necessarily give. And it's more than just like, you know, cooking and cleaning and, you know, the stuff that should come standard nowadays, which a lot of these women don't do. It's about coming in and enhancing what he has going on. And the problem with a lot of women is they come in and they just figure out how to take things, but they don't really know how to add value, right? So like, let's say you got a guy, right? And you know that he does a certain type of business, right? And he likes to have his coffee at a certain time of the day, or he likes to have certain things set up in a certain way. Like, do it. Don't have him ask you for it. Like, kind of come in, have that critical thinking skill set to be able to like be like, okay, I can make his life easier here, I can accentuate this here. Come in and figure it out and get it done. You know what I mean? If you do that without him even asking, that's gonna go crazy. And then another thing that women could do is give gifts. A lot of women don't give gifts. And the thing is that when you give a guy a gift, and it's gotta be heartfelt, it doesn't have to be expensive, anything. It's the thought that counts. Men appreciate gifts a lot because we never get them, right? Men never get gifts, men never get compliments, men never really get validation from women like that unless you're like a top tier guy. So when guys get these things, we remember and we appreciate them, most importantly. Women, they get gifts, it doesn't matter to them because they get it all the time. But when you get it as a guy, you're gonna appreciate it. So when a girl finds that guy, come in, fill the void that he has, give him gifts. Doesn't have to be expensive. It could just be like a card. It could be something simple that you make yourself. Trust me, you'll remember that shit forever.
Yeah, so you're wrong, sir. You're wrong about women having value, just by being born. The only value that women have by just being, the only time women have value by just being born is when men are idiots and slaves to their dicks. The Bible says that women do not have value by being born. In fact, it says they have to be an asset. They have to have skills that's going to be beneficial to them as a wife and a mother. Proverbs 31 clearly outlines the characteristics of a valuable woman or a top tier or high value woman, where she actually has to be business minded. She has to be well understood in finances. She has to be intelligent. She has to be kind. She has to be caring, she has to be soft spoken, she has to be modest, she has to be respectful to her husband. Her respect for her husband actually gives him more status in the gates amongst his peers and the community. She is kind and giving and caring to the community as well. She cares for her children and she raises her children. She has children. She respects God and her father, and that actually transfers to her husband, which we also see in the example of Esther and Mordecai and how they worked together and how that able to translate with her and the king when she got with the king and the things she was able to do. So, and she was very intelligent. But every single time you see a woman like that in the Bible, it's because she had what? The structure of God and her father. Savages. You are wrong, my friend. And the only men who think that women have value because of they look good is men that never was able to see the value of a good woman, or they wasn't raised that way. Or you just don't want to, you don't like, you know what you're doing, man, at that point. Come on.
Sorry, I guess I like talking to myself. So I'm going to bring up a clip because he was talking about dating on a certain side, and because you're past a certain age and you've done all of this stuff. So we're going to hear a different side of the equation for the dating and the challenges from the woman's perspective. So let's just listen and pull that up now.
What did she ask?
She was asking you about how hard it is probably to date around, given like the, your title and your background.
It's
and
very difficult. It's very difficult. Of course, everybody knows who I am, and though everybody
put that aside, like it doesn't matter. But at the same time, it's like, man, like, am I going to live up to like?
That's so guys get it in their head. I always say like everybody wants to be with me, but nobody wants to be with me.
Yeah.
And that's really a theory I tell girls in the business. Like everybody's gonna want to be with you, but do they really want to be with you? Yeah. I'm very lucky to have a nice group of men in my life that I get to enjoy sexually and I enjoy friendships with. And for me, like each time I tell one of my friends, my close girlfriends, like I think I'm catching feelings for this guy. And they'll be like, well, just step away from it because you are a solo rider. Like, you're supposed to be traveling the world. Like, this is who you are. Don't get lost in the sauce. Like, so like, okay, I'm not opposed, but meeting this group and being comfortable with them is one thing. But then next level, being able to accept the things that play on in their head. And it's not just them. It's their friends. You know, Mike would go golfing with his friends and like guys would say shit like, yo, I was just watching your girl last night getting fucked. Like guys do weird shit to each other that like I can't even imagine because women just don't do that. So you're constantly like on pins and needles like, okay, he's taking this guy's trip. What are his guy friends going to say? There's just a lot that comes with it, especially at my ilk, right? Being as popular as I was, especially focusing so much of my career on stabilizing the balance between black and white performers. When I first got in the industry, I was like, if you're a contract girl, you're not allowed to do interracial. And I'm like, fuck all of you. I'm only going to do interracial when I get out of this contract. So there's a lot of different layers to me that people have questions about and don't really understand. And that makes it hard.
Yeah.
And guys are inherently like a little bit more jealous. And so there's nothing worse than being on a date and like a random fan hands your date the phone. And then your date is like, oh, so I'm supposed to take a photo of this guy because he masturbated to you. Like, do you know how many times I've been on dates with civilians, people not in the industry, and they're like, oh, so I'm supposed to take a picture because you've masturbated to my date? And I'm like, okay, I don't think that's going well. Like, I think this is awkward. Like, this has gotten weird, and that's just normal. So who knows what will happen in the future? But for now, I'm just happy living my life, and I'm still a very sexual person. And so I find it impossible to date people my age. Mm-hmm. So, and it's just weird. I'll be 51 in May. And most 50, 51-year-old men have already had a family, divorced. There's always this like constant conversation. I've gone on like first dates with a bunch of guys my age. And I'm always like, conversation is just not where I'm at.
Yeah.
Sorry, very different than Myron's take.
Yeah, honestly, it really frustrates me that her friends and women constantly do this. Their friends like, oh no, you're supposed to be single and traveling, doing all this. Excuse me, who's gonna hold me at night? Like, is the travel going to be my embrace? Like, What are you going to take care of me in my old age? No. Like, are you going to experience life with me and love me? No. Like, women are some of the most destructive people to each other. They love to watch people crash and burn
Treacherous.
alone.
I
Treacherous, exactly. Someone, and especially someone with a mind like Lisa Ann, I am sad she doesn't have children. Someone like Lisa Ann, exceptional woman. When you actually look at the characteristics of this woman and the mind of this woman, I as far as I'm concerned, she was constantly surrounded by treachery. That's all I see. And when she's saying this, that's all I'm hearing.
what I
Traitors. That's why I'm
what
sad.
I'm gonna say is that at the end of the day, like her friends, like you need to not listen to those friends. Like don't do that.
No.
Like that's like some serious sabotage, right?
That is complete
That
sabotage.
is yeah. This is why sometimes you don't take advice from women. Like when you're a woman, I watched women do
I
this
don't.
my whole life,
I
telling
don't.
other
I
women to
actually,
do something that is just way off base, like way
as
off base.
soon as I catch feelings for someone who I think is genuinely serious, I don't talk to any women about him. I don't care what it is. Maybe in the beginning stage, it's like, oh yeah, I talk to this guy, whatever. As soon as it's serious, nah, man, it's ghost. You don't know anything. You don't know anything because nothing exists. Because I don't want any chance of any delusion creeping into my mind because they want to self-sabotage me somehow, or by telling me, oh no, this is the good thing to do. Nah, bro, it's God and my father from that point on. He's telling me what's good.
But what I did like like what she does what I do say is that she tells girls this is going to be the
Yeah.
situation, because yes, men are going to want to get in your pants, but they're not going to want to stay, and it makes it a lot
No.
harder. Some girls find that, but it makes it way more different. The amount of men that are going to want to come and deal with you is very different. And
Yeah.
yes,
Yes. Yeah.
men don't like to share. Men that are
No.
okay with sharing are generally men that aren't going to take you as seriously or give you what you need. Even if they want to take you seriously and share you, you cannot get what you need, like emotionally and all that kind of stuff from that, because a man can't do that. You just can't. We only have as much attention and energy to expend on certain things. And when you're
Yeah.
spreading yourself thin, you can't do that. You can't. Like as a man, you can't. It just you don't have the energy. You don't. You
Well,
don't have the attention.
some
It's not possible.
well, someone coming up to you while you're on a date with someone like Lisa Ann, and or just like a date with a woman, and asking to take a picture just because you masturbated to this woman. That's the man is correct. You're sick. Why are you like, I would want to punch the guy in the face. Why are you coming up to me to ask my date for a picture just because you masturbated to this person? That is next level. That is off base. That is off base. And someone who is, in the industry, that might be normal that people come up and ask to take pictures. But a man, probably, I couldn't imagine being a man and someone coming up and doing that. I couldn't imagine it because I would be very angry, probably. I don't know. Because it's another man doing it too. It's like, what do you, I don't know.
Yes, I mean at the end of the day, when you look at it, any person when they're in a relationship, they have a sense of security and stability that like a woman's going to have that she won't have otherwise. It's impossible. They're not designed to be that way. Like the man is going to provide that, and a woman is not going to get that elsewhere. So when a girl tells a woman like, "Oh no, you got to go and do that. This is what you got to," no, stop. If you're starting to have something with somebody, go settle down. Go deal with that person, right? Like get your life better. Don't listen to your friends, because when
No.
if you're
No.
you're
Yeah.
say you're 70 years old, right? Now you've got nobody with you. How is that going to work out for you at that point in time, right? Time progresses, right? I mean, yeah, that was bad advice from your friend. I'll just say that straight up, right? If you have that
Terrible
opportunity,
advice.
take it, because everything comes at
Yeah.
a trade-off, right? I mean, I would love to sit down and have the conversation and say that and say, look, man, don't listen to your friends. If you do that, go do what you want to do. You don't have to live a certain way because of what somebody else thinks you should be doing. Because that's what her friends are saying.
Yeah.
Well, this is who you are. Well, you can change your mind at any point in time, right? And if you're like, oh, I'm catching feelings for somebody, and you want to do that, then pursue it. Don't listen to them.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean,
And the older you get, the harder it's going to be for you to actually, the older you get, the more stuck in your ways you are. So the harder it is for you to actually like sit down and vibe with someone. I'm only 28 years of age, and I'm just like, when I finally do like someone, I'm like, I like this person. I'm very decisive about those things because I'm like, I know myself. I don't really like much of anything or anyone. So it's like, and I know the older I get, the worse it will get. So it's like, I can't imagine being 70 or like 60 or 50 or 40. I would be very sad.
I mean, I spent most of my adult life single, like not in relationships, because I watched a lot of stuff going on, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that foolishness. I did my thing,
Real.
and whatnot. But I mean, at the end of the day, I know that when you get it with somebody that you get along with, you can go along
That's what I'm
further
saying, yeah.
with someone that you're cool with and get along with than somebody that's not, and being by yourself, because there's that different motivation, there's that different sense of stability that you get. Sure, you have certain contentment when you're by yourself, but when you're with somebody and you get along, things are good, and then you're gonna see where you go, like, increase threefold, fourfold, fivefold because of that. And that's men draw out the best in women if they're doing it correctly. And this is why a man can't spread himself thin, because he won't be able to pull that out properly. But when a man can devote his attention and everything else to that one woman, he will draw out the best in them. And this is where you see on the feminist side of things and you see on the red pill side of things. This is where they fall short, right? They're telling you do what you want, but then you're basically going to be a jack of all trades but a master of none, but you're not going to do it very well at all, right? And then if you take that time and master that, then you're going to get to yourself to a level that it's impossible for anybody else who does that with the polyamory. They're never going to get there. They'll never, ever, ever get there, because you're going to be there on a purely physical, even an emotional level, but you cannot increase to a certain level because these types of things take time. And then you end up having to build that with a person. You can't do it with multiple people. It's just not possible. It's not, especially with men. You don't understand that person. Yeah, one way for saying, yeah, no, that's not true at all. It is not true. Men are not designed to have multiple women. It's just not. You do things poorly.
No, if that was the case, God would have made Adam, Eve, Sarah, Tammy, Sally, and he would have been like, here's the 15 women. You can have all of them, Adam. No, he made one very specifically. Adam didn't have 5 ribs to take out to make all those women. God made Eve from Adam and took 1 rib.
Well, look from Abraham having 2 wives. Look at how much problems that caused. Right?
Literally.
It doesn't.
And then David.
It creates more problems. Like, I mean, so people can make the choices that they have, but I watched this throughout my life, and it does not. It creates more problems than anything else like that. But at the end of the day,
yeah,
as men, men are the ones that can do the most to change this. And when I sit down and I watch these red pill guys talking about this over and over and over again and blaming women, I'm like, dude, man, stop it, right? First of all, the woman wouldn't be trained to get gifts if you just had to just kept spending money to get the women. Try being
Literally.
try having good character, right? Because if you had good character, you're just not going to go and spend money on any woman that looks good just because she looks good. Because when you're sitting down and looking at a woman and just about being looking good, then you have no idea what value that woman has. And so you can't find a woman that has value. So you're going to base a woman based on what she looks, and you're like, do what I say. And then you're going to realize that she's not compatible with you. Then what?
No.
Right? Then you're going to be like, next. And then you're going to sit down and say all these women suck because you don't even know how to look for a woman. Because all you're doing is following what they look like in that physical attraction, but you're not looking for the deeper characteristics. Right?
Facts.
That's why there's so much problems, because people are just always first basing so much on what they have, what status they are, what they look like, rather than paying attention to their character. And if you have more people that start paying attention to character, you'll make better choices. Yes, the whole idea of and this is where we have this whole issue of everything going from one to another. Things that, like you saw what Lily Phillips is doing, that's teaching a whole generation of younger women like some very wrong things, and it's wiring them very wrong. Right? That's not acceptable whatsoever.
Yes, not acceptable. Exactly. See, the computer agrees with me.
When you're putting that stuff on the TikToks, young men and women, young men and young women, like girls and boys, are going to watch this, and they're going to funnel them into the wrong way. And then you look at when this stuff that they're doing in the schools, and they're sexualizing them in the schools, and then they're handing them out, and they're getting all this pornography when they're young, that even people who are in pornography, like these ads, like, you can't do that, right? Like, so if people who are in pornography are saying you need to stop this, then maybe we should sit down and say, well, maybe there's a point, because a rational person should sit down and understand that this is not something that you should do at all. Like, I don't care what you want to do as an adult, that's your business, but you're going to put that filth in the hands of children? Like, no. Right? Yeah. But the point is, I mean, this is why we need more Elijahs today. Right? Elijah didn't care. He was under the threat of death, and he still said, not today, Satan. We ain't taking that filth. Right? And that's what we need. Anyway, we're running up here on time. I'm going to close here with a prayer, because we need some prayer to deal with this filth, because Lord Jesus, I mean, the world is on fire when your little children can access pornography easier than they can pretty much almost get anything else. It's at their fingertip. And this is why we're at the state that we're at. So we need to deal with this. So I'll close here with a prayer. I'll give you your final thoughts. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your love, grace, and mercy. And Father, this day I ask of you to open our hearts and our minds. And Lord, help the men that we would humble ourselves before God, and we would repent, and that we would come to Jesus, and that we would, Lord, get the strength from you to work with the women to rebuild our families, our churches, our community, and our nation, that we would be able to have some sensibility and protection for the children, to shield them from this wickedness and this filth that is going on, that is destroying the children and plaguing this society and destroying this world, and that we can finish the work until we see you coming in the clouds, is my prayer. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dad, for the prayer as always. Yeah, guys, this is mad. This is absolutely insane in the membrane. I don't know. That stuff is crazy. I literally don't know what to say. But men need to understand the value of women so that they can progress as men and work together with women to be a team. God made men and women to need each other. If we didn't need each other, he would just made one sex, either just man or just woman. And it's not that way. We're supposed to go outside of ourselves to know each other and to meet each other in the middle, and not in, you know, that stupid societal way, in the God-given way. And until you learn those things, you will never be all that you can be, because God created the family unit to demonstrate him and his relationship with us and the structure that he has and why it's so important to be a father and to have a family and have that authority and leadership. And until people find that value, they won't be able to be all that they can be. And the work that a single person will do will never outweigh the work that a godly family will do together. That's just impossible. So anyways, thanks guys for your time and considerations. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Men be men, and women be women. And also to my dearest Karis, until we meet again, my friend. We will. Good night, guys. Bye.